Hi, this here give you an introduction of Kapow, demonstrating the Kapow. So to set up the use case is that we're having the individual Jane over here, part of the administrative assistants, and what she's doing is she's the assistant to the CFO, and what she's doing is on task every day is to go ahead and monitor the 100 companies for the CFO boss. And what she does is she go to these individual different websites, Dow Jones, Yahoo, Security Stock Exchange, find the information of these individual companies, and then what she does is copy and paste into an Excel spreadsheet and then present the information back to her boss. So in order to help her do this work, what we are doing is we alleviate that and kind of reverse the process where we start off with the Excel spreadsheet with the list of those 100 companies, and then using Kapow to go ahead and retrieve the information from the Excel spreadsheet, and then go to these individual locations. The website, Dow Jones, Security Stock Exchange, and Yahoo. In this demo, we're actually going to be focusing on Yahoo. Extract the information, put it into a consolidated or centralized repository, and then what she does is at that point, all she does is do a single query when she comes in. So we can do all this at night for you. So that's what the demo is going to be set up to show you. So what we're going to show you now, the first thing we're going to do is show you the website, where the finance website. So she goes to this particular website, she keys in the actual the stock symbols, and then enter, and then she have to go ahead and manually highlight the information, copy and paste, highlight the information, copy and paste, and so on, and then put it into the Excel. So now by using Kapow, what we're going to do is provide her with what we call a caplet. This is like a Kapow's version of the portlet. So you can go ahead and invoke the robot. What we call a robot is a collection of all the different steps. And she can invoke the robot here by simply invoking it by typing in the symbol that she wants. And then at that point, she initiates the actual robot. And then as you can see, it's running in the background here. Now when it's done, what it does is that it automatically extracts the information for you automatically. In addition, what it does is that it also gives you a screenshot of any type of information for auditing capability, so in case later on you want to go back and review the results, how you're getting the information, and or timestamp for auditability. Also, we also give you the capability to save this directly into the Excel format. If you want to, you can see that right here. As you can see, we can extract that information from there. Okay. Now let's take a look at how this robot is being built. So let's kind of go into the Kapow IDE environment. This is what we call the Design Studio. On the left here is all my projects. In the middle here is what we call a integrated browser, a browser where the end users actually, or business analysts, can go ahead and interact and teach the robot or configure a robot. Down here on the bottom is the HTML source code of this particular web page. And up on top, you'll see is actually the workflow that is being built up when the end user or the business analyst actually start building that. As you can see, and then down here on the right hand side here is all the variables that we're going to keep track. So if I can look at the Yahoo results, this is where we're going to store the value, and then this right here is the configuration of this individual step. Okay, and if you want to execute this particular step, all you need to do is click onto the next thing and we'll execute that information. Now take a look here. So if you want to go ahead and extract something, we can just do a right mouse click, hit the extract text, and then put into company name. And if you look down here in the variables, you'll see the actual company name is being extracted from there, and also the added step is being built. Okay, so once we finish with all this information, we can go ahead and click through a couple more times. As you can see, you start seeing some of the information is being filled out now, because all we're doing is extracting the information. So if you're completely happy, what we do is then we upload this information to our management console, and that's what that does, is that is our server environment. And then once we have that on a server environment, you can go ahead and schedule this to run if you want to. You can schedule this run on the nightly batches if you want to. And at the same time, what we do is we automatically wrap the APIs for you. So here's a Java API, so you just copy and paste it to your Java program, or C# if you want to. Or better yet, we can go ahead and give you a REST interface. So if you look at the REST, here all you need to do is go ahead and copy this URL, you can go ahead and mobilify this application if you want to by having that, or maybe on a web page. Here we're going to go ahead and put the stock symbol, and then we're going to go ahead and test this web service. As you can see, it returns the value and also returns the image as well. So now we give you that capabilities, and or what we can do is also show you SOAP if you want to. Now that we have this capability, the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and take this Excel spreadsheet here, process it by taking a look at all these different symbols, and then we're going to go ahead and invoke this particular robot by calling the REST service. So in order for an end user to do that, let's go back to the end user mode. Come into here, look at we're going to go ahead and launch it. Notice we're going to launch the Excel. Notice that there's no input required because we're using the Excel spreadsheet. All we want to do is just launch it on demand. In this case here, it launches it. It opened up the Excel spreadsheet that we looked at earlier, and then what we'll do is for every single row, it automatically call the other robots that we built earlier in the first place. Okay, so as this is still progressing, we can still look at the results. As you can see, now we're returning all the values. It'll automatically do that. So we are repurposing what we have done with what we have done earlier with the robots. So let's take a look at how this robot is being built. So if we look at the Excel input, notice that here's the Excel spreadsheet. What we're doing is now, you can see, now what we're doing is looping through this Excel spreadsheet, extracting the symbols, each stock symbols, and then we're basically calling the REST service. And here's the REST service that we are calling. Okay, notice right here, looks similar that you saw earlier. Now we put that as a variable, so now what we can do is now we can go ahead and make this as a variable. Now it returns the result, then we basically go ahead and extract the information we want to go ahead and store it and display it. So that's kind of how the Kapow robot can work for you and extract the information. Thank you very much for your time and interest in reviewing this particular video.